West, and this is Studio 7 on YouTube West, and I've got a Western hat on today. Those of you who watch my show will notice that it's not my regular hat. No, I borrowed it from my wife. She owns a black hat, because generally in Western movies, the bad guys wear black hats. The bad guys like Yul Brynner. The bad guys like Robert Vaughn. The bad guys like Steve McQueen. The bad guys like James Coburn. The bad guys like Charles Bronson. The bad guys like Eli Wallach. And the bad guys like Horst Buchholz and Brad Dexter. And what's really amazing is that you're going to get all of them in this movie, because today I'm telling you about the Magnificent Seven. No, not that POS remake you all just saw and paid for and wondered why, with Denzel Washington, that you thought was really cool because it had explosions and gunfights and wagons going all over. No, forget it. Forget it. Remakes very, very, very seldom do any justice to the original. The only one I know of so far that has impressed me beyond words I will be reviewing, called The Flight of the Phoenix. But the original, Magnificent Seven, which was directed by John Sturges, which is a Merce Group Corporation movie, is a Western that is always in the top 10 list. And most of the time, it is the top movie, unless you're just such a Clint Eastwood fan, you can't see the forest through the trees. And in this case, every one of these actors creates the forest. And Eli Wallach as the bad guy that terrorizes the little Mexican town that these gentlemen are hired to protect, even though they're gunfighters. It's amazing. It's an incredible movie. The portrayals are accurate. The times are accurate. The gunfight scenes are accurate. The weapons that they use, the clothes that they wear, the language they speak, the realities that they tell you about by being a gunfighter, everything is in this movie. And what's really cool is that there's three people in this movie that will gravitate onto another movie I'm going to discuss called The Great Escape. And that's Charles Bronson, James Coburn, and Steve McQueen. They do a great job in here, and they do a great job when they're together. But I want you to notice a rubbing of individuals too, because there's always been a backstory on the Magnificent Seven, because Steve McQueen came from doing a couple of Westerns and doing Wanted Dead or Alive and being the really new guy on the block and the up-and-coming star. And Yul Brynner, from doing all sorts of dramatic roles, had always thought he was the big guy in the movie, and they kind of rub and bounce off of each other through this whole movie. And there's a particular scene I will tell you about, a spoiler, yes, where you're watching Steve McQueen shake a shotgun shell. And the reason why he does that is to detract you, the viewer, from Yul Brynner. And he does this type of stuff through the whole movie. And now that you know to watch for it, you're really going to enjoy how strong the characters are when they come out. Their reasoning for making the decisions that they do and the way they live. The Magnificent Seven is just that. It's a 7 out of 7 movie. It is part of the reason why I named my show Studio 7. I am 90 days in to having my channel. I figure I have about another 3,000 movies to tell you about, so that should take me 3 or 4 years. I don't know how many episodes of my other shows I'll be able to do or how many other movies I'll be able to do, but movie reviews I intend to do, because Netflix has made me a new world. And if you notice, I'm not glancing a lot on this movie because I've seen it 200 times since I was like 6 years old. And a lot of these movies I'm telling you about, I don't need to glance at the computer over here because I've seen them so many times. And The Magnificent Seven was one of those movies when, before the age of digital, VCS and the VHS and the rest of it, when it came on, we stayed home. When it came on, the drinks were out. When it came on, the popcorn was being made. When it came on, it was my brothers, my sister, my mother, and my dad watching the movie. Time and time and time again. The Magnificent Seven, The Great Escape, To Kill a Mockingbird, Inherit the Wind, To Catch a Thief, North by Northwest, What's Up Doc, Paint Your Wagon. Movies like this were the reason for our Sunday nights at home. The Magnificent Seven is not to be missed if you call yourself a fan of real movies. It's not to be missed if you're an aficionado. If you want to see what good direction is, John Sturges does it in The Magnificent Seven. It's based on a story called The Seven Samurai, which is a Japanese movie that was produced by Kurosawa. I'm sure you've heard that name in your movie classes. I've never seen it. I don't need to see it. I've seen this version. It does it. I saw the remake. It doesn't. For Studio 7, I'm Bob West on YouTube West. Happy trails!